Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about some studio experience and live experience that I had. So I'll start with the recording. With the recording, I remember my first album. I did use my own amp for that studio recording, but sometimes, due to your studio budget or the distance, you might record like in a different country or a different state or a different city or something like that, and you might not be able to bring your own amp that you're used to recording. So a lot of times, like on my second recording, from my first recording, my first album, I did use my studio, my amp that I rehearsed. I mean, that I used to rehearse with, and on my second album, I ended up using the amp that they had in the studio, and the reason was that the studio engineer decided that since we had a certain budget for the recording, that it would be faster to use an amp that he was used to it for the recording. So I did bring my own amp for that my second album, Beyond the Unknown, but I didn't get to use it, so I ended up using the studio amp that they had at the time. And also, since we're talking about amps during a recording, on my album Discerning Forces, it was recorded in Rio, Brazil, and so I ended up using their amp that they had in the studio at that time. Usually when you book a studio, they have a listing of the equipment that they use. I mean that they have available for the recording. So stuff like this. As a guitar player, you gotta be flexible. You gotta get used to these small changes. Sometimes you might use your own amp. Sometimes you gotta use the studio amp. And most of the time, from my experience, the studio amp that they already have, in a way, it might be better sometimes, not all the time, because the studio engineer is used to that sound of that amp. So it kind of helps you save more studio time if you like if you have a budget for the recording. So now the other thing I want to talk about is live shows. A lot of times when you do shows, you're gonna have to use a different amp. You might not be able to bring your own amp to the certain show, so you might ended up using whatever amp is available. So this is part of guitar playing also. It's not just learning the guitar. You got to be ready for these small changes that might happen unexpectedly. Change of amps. So you got to be ready for that. Another thing that I want to talk about in this video that's part of guitar playing also, if you're singing, if you're in a band, a lot of times when you play live, you might not be 100%, like due to lack of sleep or for whatever reason doing a show. So you got to be ready for this kind of this type of stuff also, that that's unexpected. Like you might have a headache, or you didn't sleep well the night before because you left the club late that you played the night before. So as a musician, you have to be prepared for these small changes, which is part of guitar playing, if you think about it. So just like you gotta be ready to change amps for recording in the last minute, or doing a live show, a tour, you might not be 100% at a certain night. So stuff like this happens with bands when they are playing live. Also, another example of this, like it happened to me before, like when you pop a string live, or you break a string, you pop a string, and if you have like just one guitar, you're gonna have to stop the show and you can't panic. You're gonna have to change the guitar string so the show can go on. And you so and plus when changing the strings during the show, everything is dark. So you gotta be quick about it. You know, if you have a guitar tech that helps, he'll just hand you another guitar, and that's easier. But a lot of times, some musicians they don't have like a couple guitars during a live show, and if you pop a string, you're gonna have to stop. Or maybe ask your drummer to do a drum solo while you're changing the strings. You know, you know, so stuff like this happens. So so this video is about stuff that happens more than just playing guitar, like externals, I guess, situations that might happen, and you gotta improvise and flow. I mean, go with it, you know. Especially like I said, the change of guitar amps from your rehearsal, it might be different in the studio, or from your rehearsal, it might be different in a certain live show. You know, they might have a different amp, and plus all the distance, like I explained the distance, and also like be ready for the unexpected. If you pop a string, you got to be calm and change the string and then continue the show again. And it happened to me before. So I mean, you get it like, oh man, come on, like in the middle of a song, you boom, and the whole band looks at you like, you know, what happened. But stuff like this happens. So this is the video that I wanted to talk about. Just be ready as a guitar player or as a singer. I mean, I'm not a singer, guitar player. I guess a singer because I sing too. So you might not be 100% certain night because you might have a headache and didn't sleep well, stuff like that. So this is the video that, I mean, it's part of learning the guitar, and it's part of being a musician also. Be ready for stuff like that, and that happens, and it's part of live shows or a recording. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and so I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching, and bye bye. Bye bye.